Sorry. Taking control already. Thank you all. Before we begin today, I just want to pause for a moment of silence to honor those that have been impacted by the senseless gun violence that we have seen this last weekend. May we recommit ourselves to building safer communities. If you would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Democratic Women of Santa Barbara County's 55th annual membership meeting. I am Suzanne Cohen, president of the Democratic Women of Santa Barbara County. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces, including so many of our elected officials. I'd like to take a minute to recognize our many local representatives that are here with us today. Of course, there's Congressman Salud Carbajal, the leader of the California State Senate, Monique Limon, Assemblymember Greg Hart, Supervisor Laura Capps, Buellton Mayor David Silva, Santa Barbara City Council members Kristen Sneddon and Eric Friedman and Oscar Gutierrez, Goleta City Council members Stuart Caston and Luz Reyes Martin, Santa Barbara County Superintendent of Schools Susan Salcido, Goleta Water Board members Lauren Hansen and Bill Rosen, Goleta Union School Board member Emily Zacharias, Santa Barbara City College trustee Kyle Richards, Santa Barbara Board of Education's member Nadra Ehrman. Have I missed anybody? No? Okay, great. Thank you all. We are grateful also for the generosity of our many sponsors who have helped to make this event accessible. I would particularly like to thank our gold level sponsors, EJ Bora, Jill and Ron Dexter, Martha Gabbert, Dr. Terry Jory, and Dr. Seth Geiger, Dorothy Largay, and Claudette and Jim Rohrig. Thank you. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you for joining us here today to reflect on our work for 2025. Your presence is essential because the work we do relies upon your constant support and involvement. This event, our annual meeting, is a time for us to reflect on the work we have done. We are in a time when there is a lot of work to do. If you are like me, you are constantly asking, where is the next race? Who is the next candidate that we need to support? But pausing to see how far we have come is powerful. It steadies us, it shows our persistence, it recognizes the ways that we are growing and strengthening. The progress we have earned is deserved and needs to be recognized. And it is also a time for us to passionately recommit to our mission. When I told a friend that I was finishing my term as Democratic Women's president, she replied to me, "Oh, you're ending your tour of duty." And I thought, wow, what a worthy metaphor that was. I do feel like we are fighting a battle, one that we cannot afford to lose. It is no exaggeration to say that women's rights are deteriorating here in our country. 41 states now have laws that govern women's health care, and 12 states have effectively banned all abortion access. And they are not stopping there. They are criminalizing those who seek abortions out of state, and they are working to prohibit access to women's medications. And we saw just this week, Michelle Goldberg reported that even Republican women are sounding the alarm that misogyny isn't a fringe problem on the right. It is an operating principle. So we cannot afford to be discouraged. There is no quick fix ahead of us, and no single election will ensure our rights. This work will require patience and unwavering consistency. And if there's one thing that I am certain of, it is this: I am inspired by the people that I will be working alongside. And thankfully, Democratic Women is an organization that was created exactly for these times. The women who built this club knew that until women acted together within the Democratic Party, that the priorities and the agenda would continue to be set without their voices. And that is why 55 years ago, this organization was started. Looking at where we stand 55 years later, I am proud to report to you our progress. Our organization continues to grow, both in numbers and in the impact that we have. One of the first goals that I set as president was to grow our membership. So I'm proud to tell you that in 2025, our membership grew 68%. And over the past 4 years, our collective work has resulted in a 136% growth in membership. We currently have 556 Democratic women members within our county. The powerful work of Democratic women comes from our standing committees. They are the engines that drive our organization, and they are thriving. Let me highlight some of their work from 2025. Our Democratic Women's Social Lab Committee, under the leadership of Christy Stillwell, has continued to engage, educate, and inspire the community with their programs. They dove into several topics, including leading with purpose, the weaponization of misinformation, and bridging the digital divide. Attending organizations included Santa Barbara Indivisible, and the UCSB Democratic Club. And featured speakers included California's Chief Service Officer, Josh Friday, Buellton Mayor David Silva, and the UCSB professors Linda Kreil and Miriam Metzger. At these events, our members discuss local issues in small groups with their elected officials, fostering the partnership between government and the people. If you have not yet attended a social lab, they are entirely free to the community, and I would encourage you to come and experience this innovative format. Our Community Engagement Committee, chaired by Amber Caldwell, helped to organize the People's March in January, informed and registered voters this year at the Pacific Pride Festival, and tabled at both of the No Kings rallies. Additionally, they updated members on important events and grew our email list and our social media. Our already impressive email subscriber list grew 83% over the last 2 years. And our social media following grew by 78%. The community is clearly interested in our message. And this year, our Community Engagement Committee also rolled out our new hats and t-shirts so you can show your Democratic women pride year-round. Our Events Committee, co-chaired by Claudette Rohrig and EJ Bora, held our annual luncheon under the theme, We the People. This event was hosted by the Honorable Hannah Beth Jackson and featured special guest, the Senator from New Jersey, Cory Booker. Senator Booker spoke about the need for moral clarity in these trying times and urged us to be agents of unity and not division. He said, I want to fight, but how we fight and how we show up is important. An inspiring reminder that during these contentious times, we must show up with integrity and uphold the feminist values that we all hold dear. Additionally, Democratic women helped raise $149,000 to send back with Senator Booker to help his race and other competitive races within the state of New Jersey. Our Women for Democracy Committee, chaired by Jenny Landers, worked on races in our county and across the country. They canvassed, called, and helped send thousands of postcards to voters across the United States. Their efforts helped Buellton elect City Councilwoman Carla Mead, and they helped to stop the Trump power grab by passing Proposition 50 here in the state of California. Our full board of directors, consisting of 19 active members, continues to be the driving force behind our organization's remarkable success. And I would like to take a minute to extend all of my gratitude to these incredible women and to the support that they have provided me personally over the last 4 years. My executive board, Claudette, Laura, Meredith, Amber, Joanne, thank you for being my guides, navigating me through a world that was really completely new to me about 4 years ago. EJ, thank you for convincing me that I actually could be president. We all need that wise elder to push us to do hard things, and you have been that for me. Thank you. And Claudette, you have been my vice president, my friend, my therapist at times, and now you will be my president. So thank you for being the rock for me and also for Democratic women. These accomplishments are impressive for any organization, but they are particularly remarkable because Democratic Women is and has always been a grassroots organization of 100% volunteers. Our work is only possible when people generously offer their time and contribute their resources. We cannot do this vital work without our dedicated members. And as we look ahead to 2026 and the challenges on the horizon, the stakes could not be higher. Flipping the House next year is critical, but the work goes far beyond that. We must fight for Supreme Court reform. We must prepare for key Senate races, and we must elect leaders here in California who will stand firm against federal right-wing policies threatening communities of color, LGBTQ individuals, and our reproductive rights. And we must finally ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. And we must codify Roe versus Wade. Without women's support, without our dedication to those two causes, it will not happen. Neither of those things will happen. So we must be united in demanding both. Thanks to the generosity and commitment of our members and our supporters, our war chest going into this election year stands at $203,331. That strong financial foundation means we are ready to support candidates, fund critical outreach, and compete where it matters most. We are prepared for the fight ahead. Serving all of you and leading this organization has been an honor. And in this room are some, this setting, are some of the hardest working, most dedicated women in the nation. Your passion and resilience fuels this fight, and I am excited for the new leadership taking the helm. So please join me in recognizing and applauding the incredible work of our organization and all we have accomplished. Thank you for your trust, your commitment, and your courage. This year, we will be installing 4 officers to our board of directors. It is our tradition at Democratic Women to ask our membership for a vote of confidence in the names put forth by our nominations committee and by our board. So I'm thrilled to put forth this year's slate and to see my good friend, the vice president for the last 4 years, Claudette Roehrig, step into the role of president. She is a fierce Democratic sister and will be a tireless leader. So with that, I'd like to put forth the following names. If you would please stand when your name is called. For President, Claudette Roehrig. For Second Vice President, Peggy Polos. And you're not going to get rid of me just yet. For Controller, Suzanne Cohen. And for our new board officer position, Community Engagement, Joanne Mead Young. At this time, if you are a member, you may vote by simply saying aye and raising your hand. All in favor of the slate of officers put forth, please say aye. Thank you. This year, our nominations committee puts forth the following names for 2026-2027 board terms. Renewing board members, if you would please stand when your name is called. Jill Dexter, Nikki Horn, Dr. Terry Jory, Peggy Polos, Claudette Roehrig, Christy Stillwell, Joanne Mead Young, and myself, Suzanne Cohen. And we have 3 new board members this year. Catherine LePage, Michelle Madrell, and Carrie Parker. At this time, we ask for a vote of confidence in this slate of directors. If you are a member, you may simply say aye. All in favor of installing these board members in the 2026-2027 term, please say aye. Thank you. Congratulations to our officers and to our board members. I am excited to continue doing this work with you. This year, the Bylaws Committee puts forth changes to our organizational bylaws to reflect changes in our committee structures and add a community engagement officer position to our executive board. These revised bylaws have been put on our website for all of our members to review. And at this time, if you are a member, you may vote to affirm the changes to our bylaws by simply stating aye. All in favor of the 2025 bylaws, please say aye. Thank you. Appreciate your help in wrapping up that business. And now at this time, I would like to welcome our Congressman Salud Carbajal, who has a very special presentation for us to recognize an incredible woman within our community.
Don't go away.
Don't go away.
I'm here to honor 2 people, but before I do that, I wasn't given the honor of giving a long speech. But let me start by saying the momentum is with us. We're going to take back the House, and we're going to kick ass this coming November. You know, it takes a lot of work to lead an organization. These things just don't come together by themselves. It's usually the leadership, the board, but somebody at the helm that goes the extra mile to make sure that all the work is being done. And for 4 years, that person has been Suzanne Cohen. You got to serve a minimum of 4 years, by the way, to get this wonderful love here. So on behalf of the 24th Congressional District, I want to present to you a little token of our appreciation for your work. Please open it. Remember, 4 years. Claudette, 2 years don't cut it. You better do 4+.
Have too much a lot of time here. Okay, this one here.
Here, hold on. I don't have my keys. Here we go.
I think I got it. My goodness.
Congratulations. Instead of holding it up higher, they want to see it. Congratulations. Congratulations, you've earned it. Now, the real reason I was asked to come here today is the mere fact that this is from the state. Greg Hart is here. I can see that. I'm also giving out your award, I see. Every year, members of Congress throughout the nation welcome community nominations from our community of women that have demonstrated distinguished accomplishments and service in their communities. This year, we received over 100 nominations. I know other elected officials give similar awards, but ours come from their peers, which makes it that much more special. And this year, the nomination was written by none other than Suzanne Cohen. See, she just keeps giving and recognizing others. The recipient of this award is commemorated with a congressional record. And if you don't know what a congressional record, that means it is a statement that's written into the record of the halls of Congress to be there in perpetuity, to commemorate the accomplishments and the service that I'm about to read in a few minutes. Secondly, the individual will receive a congressional certificate. And lastly, a little congressional pin, so that when they go around and they wear this little pin, people will say, well, what is that? And they could be informed. As such, I have the privilege of honoring women on the Central Coast who have made a meaningful impact in our community through the Women of the Year Award. This year, it is my pleasure to honor and recognize Joanne Meade Young of Santa Barbara, California, for her outstanding contributions to education and for her leadership in our community. Joanne's lifelong commitment to educational equality was shaped early in life. Born on February 11, 1946, she attended a segregated two-room Catholic school, an experience that profoundly influenced her dedication to ensuring that low-income children, children of color, and students with learning disabilities receive equitable access to learning and support. Joanne began her career in Ohio, old Ohio, where she served in Title I schools as a primary language development specialist and later as a library media specialist. Her talent for instructional leadership led her to Middleton, Connecticut, where she became an instructional consultant responsible for diagnostic testing and monitoring literacy and math programs. In 1987, Joanne made history as the first Black principal in the Hamden, Connecticut school district. After relocating to Santa Barbara in 1990, Joanne once again broke barriers, becoming the first Black principal in Santa Barbara County, where she was appointed principal of Mountain View School in Goleta. Over the next 17 years, she served as principal of Brandon, El Rancho, and Elwood schools and directed the Goleta State Preschool. Throughout her career, Joanne centered, round of applause, absolutely. Joanne, you have fans here. Throughout her career, Joanne centered the well-being and success of all students. She introduced innovative enrichment opportunities, including drumming circles, swing dancing, and visiting artist programs, and organized a spring sing performance at UCSB's Campbell Hall that brought together hundreds of students and families. Following her retirement in 2007, Joanne continued her public service by directing the Santa Barbara County Spelling Bee, co-founding the Santa Barbara Martin Luther King Jr. Committee, and serving on the board of Family Service Agency. She remains a dedicated community leader through her work with Democratic Women of Santa Barbara County, where she is treasurer and tri-chair of membership and community engagement. And she represents the 2nd District on the Santa Barbara County Commission for Women. In 2024, she was elected to the Democratic Central Committee for District 2 and was honored as Woman of the Year by Senator Monique Limon. It is with great pride that I honor Joanne Meade Young as a 2025 Woman of the Year for her exceptional leadership, her steadfast advocacy for educational equity, and her lasting impact on the Santa Barbara community. Her work has enriched generations of students and continued to strengthen the Central Coast. So now I would like to present. Come on up, Joanne. I would like to present Joanne with the framed congressional record that encapsulates the nomination and what I read to you.
Thank you.
We're gonna take more photos in a minute. One second. Oh, wait. Next, we have a little certificate. Congressional certificate.
Wow.
And last but not least, a little pin, congressional pin.
Oh, I like this. I like it.
Maybe they'll confuse you for my pin and you can just go represent me. And Greg, since you are here and since you did go to great lengths to put together this wonderful award, I want to give you an opportunity to present this.
Joanne is such a special person. We all know and have benefited from the incredible work and leadership she's done for our community for all these many years. I'm really proud to be able to recognize her on behalf of the California State Assembly. And I know Monique Limon would join me in saying you really are a treasure for the state of California, not just the Democratic women of Santa Barbara County. Thank you.
And it's only fitting that we made this presentation here today, being that she's so involved with Democratic women. Joanne, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for being a role model to us all and for just helping make our community a better place. With that, I'll turn it over to Joanne to say a few words. We'll hold this for you.
Wow, that was a lot. Take a deep breath. I'm usually an ad-lib person that talks too much, so I'm going to try to read just these few words so we can get on to the main event. I'd like to thank you, Congressman Carbajal, for this extraordinary honor. I am truly, truly humbled to be named Congressional Woman of the Year. I accept this recognition on behalf of many people, especially the exceptional teachers and committed parents who show up every day to make the lives of my children, your children, our children brighter, stronger, and focused on learning that will lead them to becoming productive community members. None of the work that I've done have I done alone. I am lifted by all of you, by friends, colleagues, mentors who give their time, their talent, and their hearts because they believe as I do, that progress is a collective effort. This award reminds me that leadership is not at all about titles. It is about the service that each and every one of you can provide. It's about listening. It's about showing up and fighting for those voices that are much often overlooked. Inclusivity, yes, that's my word. Inclusivity has been my personal calling card that has guided me along every path that I've taken in my life. Thank you again for this uplifting honor. I am deeply moved and more committed than ever to continue to fight and do this work that we all need to do. Thank you again. You've been doing a lot. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Joanne. You always are full of wisdom and inspiration, and I'm just so happy to see you honored today. At this time, it is also time for us to recognize our Woman of the Year, an outstanding woman in our community who embodies the values and ideals of Democratic women of Santa Barbara County. Myra's daughter, Meredith Isaacson, will have the honor of presenting this award.
Hi, everyone. I just want to warn you that I've practiced this speech a number of times and I have not been able to get through it once without crying. So please forgive me in advance. Thanks, Joanne. Hello, Democratic women of Santa Barbara. I am overjoyed to be here today to introduce my beautiful and indomitable mother, Myra Page. My mom, the youngest of three and only daughter to a Yiddish-speaking immigrant father and East Coast Jewish mother, grew up in Hollywood and came of age during the seismic political shifts of the 60s. One of her earliest moments of political engagement came at age 13, when she hiked up to the LA Greek Theater with a girlfriend to see Robert F. Kennedy, the sane one, on the stump during his doomed presidential campaign. She was a news junkie even then, poring over the newspaper each day and soaking up information about political campaigns and legislative agendas that advocated for working families, equitable education, and women's rights. My mom's passion for politics and activism grew throughout her life and found a constructive and creative outlet at our family dinners. The kitchen table for my two younger brothers and I was a place for curiosity and questioning. I remember complex and nuanced conversations about poverty, the American dream, about the Rodney King riots and the corruption of the police, about immigrants being the backbone of our society, about the stains in our country's history, and our responsibility to leave the world a better place than we found it. We also stole food off each other's plates, recited lines from favorite movies, and secretly slipped food to the dog. When we were kids, my mom was as devoted a mother as you might imagine. She loved us fiercely, fought for us tirelessly, and held us accountable for our actions, earning her the nickname Attila the Mom. Our family was her world, but my mom always remained fiercely devoted to her political ideals. She mothered us and loved my father with the kind of devotion and thoughtfulness you have come to see in her work on behalf of the Santa Barbara community and our country. For those of you that know my mom, you know that she is a worker. Call it first-generation American worth ethic, call it an abiding abhorrence of the right-wing agenda, but she hasn't sat still since 2016. So when she started working with Commit to Democracy in her retirement, just writing a few letters, no one was surprised when it turned into thousands and thousands of postcards, grassroots organizing, a central role in Indivisible Santa Barbara, and Woman of the Year. When she called to tell me she was receiving this honor, she was astonished. She truly does this work day in and day out because she believes deeply in the promise of this country and the beauty of what we can accomplish. And she will not rest until she knows she did everything she could in this dire moment in our history. I know how humbled and grateful she is for your acknowledgement. And I know this award, this day, will buoy her as she continues the work of fighting for what we all know is right and true. The Talmud says, do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. I know no one who lives by this more wholeheartedly than my mother. Please join me in welcoming her.
Oh, wow. Now, how am I going to get through mine? First of all, Joanne, congratulations on this award. I applaud you. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay. Congratulations to Joanne. Meredith. He knocks my socks off all the time. Okay. In 1974, Congress passed the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, giving women the ability to have a credit card in their own name. Before this law, it was rare for banks to grant credit cards to women without a male cosigner. 1 year earlier, the Supreme Court ruled on Roe v. Wade, establishing a woman's constitutional right to an abortion. Nearly 50 years later, that ruling was overturned by a right-wing conservative court largely put in place mostly to do just that. Abortion rights were returned to the individual states, and we all know the horror stories that followed. Are they going to take away our credit cards next? I jest, but barely. The story of American women is progress mixed with loss, unequal pay, underrepresentation. Our voices are too often dismissed, and our experience is negated or questioned. Women face constant pressure to meet impossible standards, to be strong but not too assertive, successful but not intimidating, nurturing but not demanding. We are criticized for being too ambitious or not ambitious enough. And yet, despite these struggles, women have led social movements, shaped culture and history, made great strides in science and technology, and raised families while working, often as a single parent, working more than one job just to make ends meet. I think the struggle of women in America is not a women's issue. It's a human issue. When women thrive, we all thrive. We've had two great opportunities to elect a woman president, and yes, we can debate why we lost each time, but I believe it's because this country simply won't elect a woman president yet. In the House, there are now 129 women representatives. In the Senate, there are 26. We're trending up with the most women yet. However, we are half the population, but have only a quarter of the representation. If there ever was taxation without representation, it is surely us. Republican conservatives put a 50-year plan in place to control the Supreme Court, the Justice Department, to gerrymander states, and to return our diverse nation to a male-dominated white Christian nationalist one, later becoming Project 2025. It's time to put our own 50-year plan in place, only let's make it 20. There's a collective IQ here of well over genius. We must expand the Supreme Court and reverse the gerrymandered states. It'll be a long slog, but we can do it. My husband and I retired to Santa Barbara in 2016, just a few months before the election. After the election, it took a few weeks of lying in a fetal position to understand I couldn't continue like that. By January, Ian and I had found our way to Indivisible, and Indivisible Santa Barbara began. We were a bunch of novices who had to work hard to figure it all out. When the campaign for 2020 was in full swing, I found I needed more. I met a woman in town who was just starting up a new organization. Commit to Democracy. I got lucky when I met Joan Bowman. Eventually, we became co-leaders of Santa Barbara and Montecito CTD. Then last year, after another horrific election loss, we rebooted Indivisible, which has become stronger and bigger than ever. Looking to combine forces with other organizations in town, I introduced myself to Suzanne Cohen at last year's December meeting of Dem Women. One great thing about this journey we are all on is the extraordinary women we've had the good fortune to meet and the friendships we now have. We are formidable women living in paradise, but not resting on our privilege. We use it and work hard to maximize our shared democratic values. This is what I fall apart. I do what I do in many ways for the people in my life, three of whom are sitting in the front row. Our grandchildren, Samuel, Lark, and Esme, and our toddler granddaughter, Charlotte, who's back east. To paraphrase an ancient Greek proverb, a society grows great when its older people plant trees whose shade they know they will never sit in. I want our grandchildren to live in a forgiving world with integrity and compassion, justice, tolerance, and dignity. I want them to sit under the shade of democracy's trees that all of us here today are planting. Thank you to the Dem women of Santa Barbara County, to Suzanne and Claudette EJ, for this extraordinary honor. I share it with my fellow Indivisible Steering Committee members, my second family, who have worked so hard in this past year to raise Indivisible's presence and who work so closely with our hard-hit immigrant community and various organizations, Immigrant Legal Defense Center, 805 Undocumented Fund, La Casa, all, I might add, with female executive directors. To Joan and the hundreds of people with CTD we've been so fortunate to have working with us. To my children, Meredith, Zach, and Andy, and children-in-law, Steph and Elsbeth, and my brother Ron Zonin and sister-in-law Louise Palanker. Most important of all, my partner in everything, my husband, Ian. Thank you all so much.
Sorry. We have one more award for you here from a very special person in our California State Senate, our first Latina leader.
Thank you. And Myra, before you go away, we have a recognition on behalf of the state of California, but it's not lost on me, your words, and also your daughter Meredith's words. I think for those of us who do the work, we can only dream that one day our children will reflect on the legacy of their parents and talk about the work in particular that you have done as a mother and as someone who is planting trees with the shade of democracy for this society, the way that Meredith spoke about you today. So on behalf of the state of California, I want to congratulate you and thank you. Thank you for continuing to plant the trees, for being the seeds that our community needs, and for ensuring that despite how slow or the shift in the shade, that we are going to continue to ensure that the shade of democracy covers all aspects of our community. Congratulations, but thank you for all you have done to make sure that we create a community and we bring community together to speak up, speak out, and stand in solidarity.
We also have a congressional award for you, and as well as a state assembly award for you.
Oh my God. Wow. Shaking.
Don't drop it.
Thank you.
Here's the box. Thank you so much, Myra. Thank you so much. Thank you. I remember last year when Myra came up to me at this exact event and introduced herself. So maybe somewhere out here is our next Woman of the Year for 2026. At this time, it is my great pleasure to bring up our new president, Claudette Roehrig, to help to close the meeting. I have a little gift for her. You do? Well, we're just like full of gifts. What have we done? So I just really want to see someone wear this hat. So I don't look as go. It's just put it right on.
I don't look good. My hair is not as good as your hair.
You see what it says on it?
No, what does it say? Oh, Madam President.
I'm gonna keep saying that until it happens everywhere in our country.
I can't believe I have to follow all those amazing speeches. This was a pretty moving. I mean, every speech was touched my heart and made me so appreciate where we live and the people that we have in this community. I don't think I probably look so good with the hat. I'll take it off. Just all right. Anyway, I always say we live in Pleasantville. We do. Santa Barbara is Pleasantville, if you remember that movie. And I always like to say the one redeeming factor of the orange monster in the White House is that I have met the most amazing, wonderful people in this community. I don't think there's any better place to live in this country. I really mean that. And I'm from New York, and that's a cool place, but Santa Barbara, it's the best. I'll make this really quick, I promise. I do want to thank Joanne and Myra for being incredible friends and amazing leaders in our community. And I don't even know, I don't even have the words that can express my gratitude for knowing you and watching the both of you grow and lead this community in so many different ways. I mean, you're all ever ready bunnies, that's for sure. You just never stop. Myra, you're exhausted, poor thing. I also want to thank Oscar Gutierrez for Zooming today for folks who could not make it. And that was really an added plus. And I want to thank once again the Santa Barbara Club. They make us look good every event we have. I mean, it's just a class act here. They work so hard. I love the people, the staff. They're just amazing. They accommodate us all the time, and we'll never go anywhere else. So before we close, I want to take a moment to honor someone whose leadership has shaped this organization in profound and lasting ways. Our outgoing president, Suzanne Cohen. Suzanne has led Democratic women with strength, steadiness, and a deep commitment to the values that define us. She has brought people together, expanded our reach, strengthened our voice, and reminded us what focused, principled leadership looks like. Suzanne, thank you for your vision, your grit, and your unwavering belief. I'm going to get off the clamp. In what's possible when women step up and lead. Go women. I also want to thank the incredible board, a group of skilled, intelligent, passionate women I have had the privilege to work with and will continue working alongside. This board is the backbone of everything we do. Their talent, their heart, and their drive are unmatched. As we head into this critical election year, I'm reminded that the bear on our California flag symbolizes independence and strength. We are the mama bears, and Dem women will protect our democracy, our rights, and our future with every ounce of our being. Our goals for the coming year are clear and urgent. Elect Democrats up and down the ballot, especially in the races that will determine the control of Congress. Strengthen our grassroots power through voter outreach, fundraising, and elevating the next generation of women leaders. Defend our fundamental rights from reproductive freedom to voting access to the rule of law. This is a defining moment for our country, but Democratic women has never backed down from a fight. We organize, we mobilize, and we lead together. Thank you for trusting me with this role. Thank you, Suzanne. And thank you all for your continued support. Our democracy is worth this fight, and it makes me so sad that we have to be in this place, but we're going to do it. This time next year, we're going to be celebrating. Champagne. Together, we will rise to the moment. This meeting's adjourned.